Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Well, things went well. As I mentioned to you in the last presentation, that I was going into the hospital and got up on that table. Those professional people did their thing. They went inside of my body, all inside of the most vital organ of it all, as far as walking around is concerned. And they came out, and I was still here. And that was a touchy situation, ladies and gentlemen, because, in fact, I was not too concerned whether I would come back. You remember I mentioned to you the last time that the last time I was in a situation like this was 2000 of the time when George Bush ran for president. And a whole bunch of stuff went down that was not proper. And I spoke out. I spoke truth to power. And it ended me in Stillwater prison for a year. And I was released on September 11th. 2001. You remember me mentioning that to you, and I had a dilemma when I was being released because I was coming back out into a society that had rejected all of the truth that had been sent by me. And so for 17 years I've spoken out, but I haven't actively done anything. The words were spoken so that all of us could hear those words and maybe be moved by those words. And after those 17 years, I found out that none of us were moved by those words. And some of the worst things that could have ever happened to any nation in that period of time between 2001 and today has actually happened in America. America has been overcome by evil personified when you can't trust anyone. Especially those who you have chosen as your leaders. They lied to you. They said they were going to represent you. They've gone into office that you have said give them the power to do the things that they have done or doing, and it worked against you all the way. And so, having gone up on that table and faced death and find myself back here again, I'm not just using words. I'm using action. And my return here is on a mission. I'm not on a mission to condemn anyone, but to speak truth to power and step forward by the power to do right, to do the right things, because it is right. Each step, because it is right. Even if no human supports it or wants it, it is the will of the Father. It is the will of God to set you free from this evil you have allowed to come upon you. Ladies and gentlemen, I have witnessed observing Democrats, the best of them. I've witnessed their arguments. I've witnessed their proposals. The proposals of good Democrats. I have witnessed conservative Republicans. Good conservative Republicans. But I must tell you that all of the goodness of the Democrats, and there's much, all of the goodness of the Republicans, and there is much, but all of the goodness of independents and everybody else who call themselves out there different and better, all of that goodness, and the reality of it is all of that goodness in comparison to what God's will is and what I've been brought to speak to you is as filthy, dirty rags. So I'm not concerned about what you, the Democrats, want and what you, the Republicans, want. I know what you got. You got the devil and all that the devil needs to bring you down to where you're at, and you are helpless without God. And there is no one speaking truth, the real truth that I hear of God. And even if there is, it's not enough. And so I come to you, ladies and gentlemen, to tell you, to speak to this nation. Right now, I don't have the wherewithal to reach out to this nation, so I begin where I am. And I start with the governor of the state of Minnesota. And I want the governor of the state of Minnesota to know that it is God's will that every individual in the state of Minnesota have an opportunity to place themselves, to choose a career of their own choosing, and the state of Minnesota will yield itself and allow it to happen. In fact, to make it happen. And what I speak to Minnesota, I speak to 49 other states, that every citizen in these states are by the power of God commanded to be workers in God's world. And all of you who are good people, you can be quiet. Your goodness has not served you well. You got an enemy before you now who knows your evilness, and he's using it against you. So what is this all about? It's about changing America. It is time for America to be revolutionized without violence. And I'm going to show you the way. The way begins with every individual, whoever you are, having a career of your own choosing. That is the start. Everybody must have a job of their own choosing. So you people who hear me now, decide for yourselves what kind of job you want in this state and make plans to get it. And the governor, I know this is nothing easy for you. Speaking it to you is not going to change your mind. You are a part of the system. But I want you to know that God is over you. And things are going to change. This hatred, this treating people cruel, and I know those of you who say you're good, recognize that things are not well, but you think they can't be good because you're trusting in evil. You're trusting in weakness and not in God. I come before you to tell you that this is God's will, that we have peace and prosperity and joy in these lives now. And so I'm letting you know by this video, this is my words being spoken to you, putting it on social media so you can get it. I'm not trying to send you a private letter. I want everybody who will read this, who will watch this, who will observe this to know that I stand before you by the power of God, by the truth, and let you know that we are going to change this world. It's already changing, but right now the devil thinks he's winning. The devil has come in and tricked you with all of those people in Washington. Come in and tricked you, now just robbing you and laughing at you all the way. The devil is not going to win this. God is going to win. I challenge the devil. I challenge the devil. You can stand on the sidelines if you want to, but every one of you are entitled to a career of your own choosing. God's plan is to make sure that your dreams can come true, that the lying and the cheating and the stealing and the killing and the wars have had their end. Thus said God Almighty. You have been warned. Bye-bye.